Well, hey there guys, edsretrogeekout here, and today we're gonna do our top 10, a terrifying top 10 of the real Ghostbusters action figures. With the new movie hopefully coming out soon, and Hasbro re-releasing the first wave of Kenner toys as Walmart exclusives, it's about time we start talking about these spooktacular toys. As a kid, I probably watched Ghostbusters 1 and 2, the 80s movies, endless times, and I was also hooked on the cartoon show. And the toys created by Kenner weren't too bad either. A total of 10 waves was released from 1986 when they were first hitting stores as Christmas pre-orders up to 1991 when the line was ended during the Kenner-Hasbro merger. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my top 10 favorite action heroes and ghosts of the real Ghostbusters toy line. And right before we start with number 10, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more vintage toy videos. In the 10th spot, we have Bat to the Bone. This action ghost was released in spring of '87 as part of the second wave. A skeleton that would open up, easily catch the Ghostbusters, and even has some eyes popping out as he was doing it. Now, if you were to find this toy out in the wild, you wouldn't immediately connect it with the real Ghostbusters. Just seeing the way this thing connects with the action heroes in the toy line, making it really easy to play along with and have all these extra gimmicks and funny looking action features, is why I definitely wanted it on my list. Plus, I'm a sucker for skeletons. On to number 9. In the number 9 spot, we got Louis Tully. I just had to add this character to my top 10. He's part of the comedic relief in the first movie where he just seems to lock himself out of his own apartment while there's a party going on in there. And there were actually 3 different releases of Louis Tully out there, but the version I liked the most was Slimed Hero Louis Tully out of the 9th wave. The Slimed Heroes had this extra cool gimmick, and it's true to usage of thermochromic paint. You could actually change the colors of these heroes. You could suck up ice water with the companion ghosts, shoot it over at the hero, and then the slime would appear whenever you would do the same thing, but with hot water, the slime would disappear once again. Definitely a cool feature, but then again, when I heard about Slime Heroes, I was expecting some more ectoplasm to get thrown into the mix. And on to number 8. In the number 8 spot, we got the potty right here. At first glance, this just looks like a toilet representation, when actually it is a ghost. If you use the little wheels underneath, the ghost appears inside, and this guy is called the Fearsome Flush, and he always cracks me up. So that's why he's on the 8th spot. This ghost figure was released in the 6th wave, and yeah, you just have to roll it along to open and close lids and reveal a fearsome ghost. And yeah, could you really blame this guy? No wonder he's pissed off. Next up, number 7. The Frankenstein monster. Part of the 1989 5th wave of the toy line, this is the Frankenstein monster. Part of the subline that's simply called the monster set. Although, you can probably recognize all of these guys are just classic monsters. They're the universal monsters. All of them share the same gimmick where when you press the legs together, they will perform an action feature, and this guy has arms rising up and a mouth that opens wide. They really got the scare action down. What I like so much about this one is it looks enough like Frankenstein. As you know, like the electrode pins over here. He's got scars on the back of his head right here. Those are some lovely details for this toy line. What I absolutely love about the real Ghostbusters toy line is whenever you get these cool monsters, they're usually a lot bigger than the heroes. So whenever you place them next to each other, they're actually towering over the heroes, giving these monsters that extra terrifying touch. So what do you got to say about that, Frankie? On to number 6. And in number 6 spot, we have Slimer. Yeah, and this is the first time he was released in toy form. He is part of the first wave. He came with a couple of accessories like the pizza, the pork chop, and the watermelon. He's always hungry, and I can relate to that. Most of these are based on a cartoon, and it was already established in the first movie that he was going to be named Slimer. He also came with the extra name of Green Ghost. I honestly don't know why they did that, because he's one of the first ghosts that actually gets caught by the Ghostbusters, and after they release him, and he kind of just becomes their sidekick, eating all the time. Whenever you place him in a collection, he's always going to pop out just like that. On to number 5. Number 5 spot, we have another green ghost. Well, actually, this guy is called Brain Blaster. He's quite a big action ghost that comes with 4 mini lobe ghosts. And his action feature gets activated whenever you roll him along. So yeah, if you roll him along, well, if you roll him along. So yeah, if you roll him along, all of these ghost lobes will jump out just like that. There's actually loads of sculpting going on over here, from the ears to, you know, the veins in the eyes. And each one of these lobes has a different facial expression. And then on to number 4. In the number 4 spot, we have another classic monster, and this is the Wolfman monster. I just had to pick this guy because the first time I saw him, I was like, I need to have this action figure. I initially thought he was part of another, like, action figure line based on the classic monsters, but it was cool to find out he was connected to the real Ghostbusters toy line. The same monster feature applies to this one. When you get this guy into action, there's lots of articulation going on. You see both of the hands moving up. There's also an extra point of articulation on the head, where, you know, the head and the mouthpiece are separately articulated. This is just a great sculpt coming to life at every full moon. Looks like at first he was a business guy. I mean, white collar shirt, blue tie. What's the story behind this? Now, before we get to the top 3, I want to know, guys. I really want to know. I gotta know, guys, what is your top 3 real Ghostbusters action figures and ghosts? Leave them down in the comments below. Because, you know, these are just my picks, the stuff that really makes me tick about this toy line. It's my opinion, but you can have your own, so leave it down in the comments below. Okay, number 3. Now, this is where it's going to get trick-or-treaty. I picked the Stay Puft Marshmallow Action Ghost in the top 3 spot. Being 7 inches tall, he can easily tower over all of the other toys. He's part of the first wave that came out in '86, nicely connecting this toy to both the movie where he is the big villain at the end, as well as the cartoon series, because he's in the opening credits. He's the largest and widest ghost, the Ghostbusters' biggest challenge. And he would have actually never been created if it wasn't for a pivotal moment in the movie, where they had to think of the most harmless thing for Zuul to take form into. And there you have it. You got the Stay Puft Marshmallow dude. So, okay, he doesn't have lots of articulation. He's basically a dog chewing toy, only that doesn't really squeak too much. He's such a big part of the Ghostbusters that he just had to be in my top 3. Now let's move on to number 2. In the number 2 spot, we have Egon, probably my favorite Ghostbuster. He is the absent-minded electronic genius who is responsible for all of the group's zany ghost-chasing equipment. Now, the Kenner toy line reused these molds for multiple variations of the Ghostbusters. This is just the one that connected with me most, and yeah, I don't know how this came to be, but mine just seems to have a G.I. Joe backpack glued to it. Not to worry, because I did end up getting the new reissued one where you can see him in his full glory. And you just love the way they created these proton packs with, you know, the rays that would break easily, but still, as far as toy lines go, these toys had the weapons that were exactly the same thing like it was in the movies, in the cartoons, and they came with an extra toy. They always came with their own little companion ghost. And next one is number 1. We're almost there, but before that, I want to do a huge shout out to Alec from back in the day. You can find this guy on Instagram. His Ghostbuster collection is amazing, and he was able to provide me with some footage that I needed for this episode, so definitely go and check him out. And I think before we reveal the number 1 spot, there's a couple honorable mentions for this toy line. I really wanted to pick one of the haunted humans to put in here, but the ghosts just took over. They were so much cooler to me. It seems like where the haunted humans were really cool, they didn't connect with me as much as the ghosts. And then there's also a variation on the original molds called the Ectoglows. These are super rare to find, but they glow in the dark, and just for that, they should probably end up in somebody's top 10 list. And the number 1 spot goes out to the Super Fright feature, Winston Zedmore. This toy is part of the 7th wave and kind of just a sequel to the Fright features, but I think this one is where they just took it to a whole new level. Now, in this wave, the heroes are all wearing these spacesuits, and what you got with Winston is when you pull the lever, down. His head would go down into the spacesuit. It would open up. The panel on the front would open up, and you would be able to see his face in much detail and super frightened. He also came with one of the coolest ghosts, the Meanie Weenie Ghost. And I don't know what it is with this toy, but once I started thinking about the top 10, this guy kept popping up. I remember I did not have this guy as a kid, but I used to play with him when I was over at a friend's house. The action feature just fascinated me. Maybe it's just all the green reminding me of a Ninja Turtle, or maybe it's just a nostalgia for, you know, those days when you would go and play over at another friend's house and just have a blast. That's all just attached to this toy, honestly. Like I said, I did not have it back in the day myself, but this was one of the first toys I found over at a flea market. It immediately sparked all of that nostalgia for Ghostbusters figures, and that's why I started collecting these. So I do think I owe my Ghostbusters collection to just all the nostalgia that is attached to this toy. So Winston, thank you so much, buddy. So guys, this was my top 10, but I want to know who you gonna call. What is your top 3 real Ghostbusters action figures? Leave it down in the comments below, please. I want to thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you want more toy content on your YouTube. Please thumbs up the video, and you can always follow me on my socials, Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to do more, you can always check out what I'm offering on my Patreon page. That's going to be it for now. I hope you're going to have a spooktacular October, and I hope to see you in the next video. See you later. Bye.